The large silver ship descended slowly through Earth's atmosphere. It was unlike anything humans had ever built. People across the world watched on screens as it landed in the middle of the United Nations Plaza in New York. This was humanity's first contact with aliens, and no one knew what to expect. Jack Harlow adjusted his tie and took a deep breath. As Earth's ambassador, he would be the first to speak with these visitors. The weight of humanity's future rested on his shoulders. "Remember," said the president, "be respectful but firm. We come to this meeting as equals." Jack nodded and stepped forward as the ship's door opened with a soft hiss. 3 tall, blue-skinned beings emerged. They had 4 arms and large, dark eyes that seemed to look through him rather than at him. "Welcome to Earth," Jack said with a smile. "We are honored by your visit." The tallest alien stepped forward. "I am Zorax, representative of the Galactic Concord. We have been observing your world for some time." Over the next few days, humans learned about the Concord, an alliance of thousands of alien species that had existed for millions of years. They controlled most of the galaxy and had strict rules about which species could join. At first, things seemed promising. The aliens shared some basic technology as a gesture of goodwill. Scientists like Lisa Bennett were thrilled by what they learned. Lisa worked day and night studying the alien power sources that could solve Earth's energy problems. But on the 5th day, everything changed. Jack was called to a private meeting with the Concord representatives. Their mood was different, colder and more formal. "We have completed our assessment of your species," Zorax said. "The Galactic Council has reached a decision." Jack smiled nervously. "And we're eager to begin formal relations with the Concord." "That will not be possible," another alien named Crete said. "Humans are deemed too unpredictable and dangerous to join the galactic community." Jack's smile faded. "I don't understand. We've shown nothing but peaceful intentions." "It is not your intentions that concern us," Zorax explained. "It is your potential. Your species evolves too quickly, adapts too readily, and questions too frequently. These traits have led to destruction in other species." "So what does this mean?" Jack asked. "The Council has ordered a quarantine of your solar system. No human vessels will be permitted to travel beyond your outer planets. No further technology will be shared." Jack stood up, his face red. "You can't just lock us in our own system. We have the right to explore the stars just like anyone else." The aliens were unmoved. Jack spent the next week arguing Earth's case, bringing in human leaders and scientists to speak to the Concord. Lisa Bennett presented research showing how humans could contribute positively to the galactic community. Nothing changed the aliens' minds. Then came the final blow. Jack was summoned to the alien ship one last time. "Your leaders have refused to accept our quarantine," Zorax said coldly. "They have made plans to develop technology to bypass our blockades. This cannot be allowed." "What are you saying?" Jack asked, suddenly afraid. "The Council has changed its decision. Earth is not to be quarantined. Humanity is to be exiled." "Exiled? I don't understand." "You have 10 Earth years to evacuate your entire species from this solar system," Crete explained. "Any humans remaining after this time will be eliminated." Jack stared in shock. "That's impossible. Where would we even go? There are billions of us." "That is not our concern," Zorax said. "The decision is final." As Jack left the ship in a daze, he found Lisa waiting for him. "How bad is it?" she asked. "They're kicking us out of our own solar system," he whispered. 10 years to leave or die." Lisa's face went pale, but then hardened with determination. "Then we better get to work," she said. "I've been studying their drive technology. I think I can reverse engineer something that could help us." Jack looked up at the stars, now seeming cold and hostile. 10 years to save our species," he said quietly. "Let's not waste a single day." 5 years had passed since the Concord's ultimatum. Earth had changed completely. Where once nations fought over borders and resources, now they worked together for survival. Project Diaspora was humanity's last hope. Admiral Garrett Klein stood at the window of the space station, watching the massive ships being built in Earth orbit. He had once commanded a small fleet of naval vessels. Now he led the greatest evacuation in human history. "How many can we save?" asked the president during their weekly call. Garrett sighed. "Even with all our ships, no more than 2 billion. We've stretched the safety limits as far as we dare." 2 billion out of 9, the president said quietly. "How do we choose?" "We don't," Garrett replied. "The lottery system is the only fair way." In her lab at the Diaspora Research Center, Lisa Bennett worked without stopping. She had made breakthroughs in propulsion that let the evacuation ships travel faster than anyone thought possible. But it wasn't enough to fight the Concorde. Her team had studied the alien technology and copied what they could, but many secrets remained locked away. "Dr. Bennett, you need to sleep," said her assistant. Lisa rubbed her tired eyes. 5 more years, Peter. That's all we have." On the other side of the station, Samantha Wright crawled through the narrow maintenance tunnel of the Endurance *, the largest ship in the evacuation fleet. As a junior engineer, she got the jobs no one else wanted. "Sam, are you getting a reading on the oxygen recyclers?" asked her supervisor through the radio. Samantha checked her tablet. The numbers didn't look right. "Something's wrong here. The backup systems are showing errors." "That can't be right. Those systems were checked last week." Samantha moved deeper into the tunnel, following the pipes to a junction box. When she opened it, she gasped. "The main regulator is completely corroded. This shouldn't happen with our materials." Back at the command center, Garrett received the report with alarm. "How many ships have these regulators?" "All of them," the chief engineer replied. "It's the standard design. If Engineer Wright hadn't found this..." Garrett didn't finish the sentence. Everyone knew what a life support failure would mean for ships carrying thousands of people through deep space. "We need to check every ship," he ordered. "Delay launches if necessary." "We don't have time for delays," someone protested. "We don't have people to waste on ships that will fail," Garrett snapped back. The next day, lines of people stretched around the globe as the lottery results were posted. Some cried with relief to see their names. Others faced the reality that they would remain behind. Peter Chen, Lisa's assistant, stared at his screen in shock. "I got selected," he told Lisa. "My family, too." Lisa smiled, though her eyes were sad. "That's wonderful, Peter. What about you? You should be first on any ship." Lisa shook her head. "I gave up my spot. I need to stay until the end, keep working. Maybe find a way to save more people." Across the station, Samantha supervised the replacement of regulators on the Endurance *. They had found the same problem on 12 other ships. Her discovery had saved countless lives. Engineer Wright called Garrett as he floated down the corridor toward her. "I want you on the Endurance's permanent crew. We need people who see problems before they happen." Samantha's eyes widened. "Sir, I'm just a junior engineer." "Not anymore. Report to Chief Morris tomorrow." The first wave of ships launched the next month. Millions watched as the massive vessels rose into the sky, carrying the seeds of humanity to distant stars. No one knew if they would find safe harbor, but they had no choice but to try. As the ships disappeared from view, Lisa returned to her lab with new determination. The Concorde had given humanity 10 years to leave, but no one had asked what would happen to those left behind. Lisa was certain of one thing. She would find a way to protect Earth, with or without the Concorde's permission. The Endurance dropped out of faster-than-light travel with a flash of blue light. After 3 years of travel, they had finally reached their destination. Through the viewports, the crew could see 3 planets orbiting a yellow sun, much like their own abandoned solar system. Colony Director Alan Pierce stood on the bridge, his face showing both exhaustion and hope. "Status report," he ordered. All systems normal, Samantha replied from her engineering station. She was now the chief engineer, having earned the promotion during the long journey. The ship held together better than we expected. Life support is stable, another officer reported. And the colonists are beginning to wake from cryo-sleep. Elan nodded. Begin scans of the planets. We need to find our new home. The scans showed that all 3 planets could support human life with minimal adaptation. It was better than anyone had dared hope for. Alan named the system Trinity after its 3 habitable worlds. We'll set up the main colony on the middle planet, he decided. It has the most Earth-like conditions. Within weeks, the first habitats were built on the surface of Trinity I. The colonists worked day and night, knowing that their survival depended on establishing a self-sufficient colony before the ship's supplies ran out. Meanwhile, thousands of light years away, other human ships had found their own new homes. On a harsh mining colony called New Durban, Maria Lopes faced different challenges. Their planet was rich in minerals, but poor in farmable land. The standard equipment isn't working in this soil, she told the colony leader. The minerals are too different. Then make something that works, he replied. We need those resources. Maria spent weeks studying the planet's unusual geology. Then she designed new extraction methods that could handle the strange mineral compositions. Her innovations would later become the foundation of human industry across the stars. Back in the Trinity system, Paul Carter was exploring one of the moons of Trinity II. As a geologist, he was mapping potential mining sites when his scanner picked up something unusual. That can't be right, he muttered, adjusting the settings. The readings showed perfectly straight lines beneath the surface, too regular to be natural. Hall called for a drilling team. They dug down 20 meters before hitting something solid. When they cleared away the dirt, they found a smooth metal wall covered in strange symbols. It's artificial, Paul said in awe. There was someone here before us. The discovery shook the colony. They weren't the first intelligent beings to visit this system. Paul led a team to explore the ruins, which turned out to be an abandoned outpost of unknown origin. Look at this, he said, pointing to a series of symbols on a wall. These match symbols found in other ruins by the Horizon colony, and they're similar to some of the Concord writing. You think the Concord built this? Asked Alan when he came to see. Paul shook his head. No. I think whoever built this was exiled by the Concord, just like us. The discovery changed everything. Humans weren't alone in being cast out. The ruins contained technology that had survived thousands of years, technology that humans could learn from. As the Trinity colony grew, similar discoveries were made on other human worlds. Each colony developed in its own way, adapting to local conditions and challenges. 5 years after landing, the Trinity colony sent out its first self-built scout ship to contact the nearest human settlement. Slowly, a network of communication began to form between the scattered human worlds. In her lab on Trinity II, Samantha Wright studied the alien technology found in the ruins. She had left engineering to focus on understanding the strange devices. I think I know why the Concord exiled whoever built these outposts, she told Alan one evening. They were afraid. Afraid of what? Alan asked. Samantha held up a small device she had managed to activate, afraid of what they could become. And now we have their knowledge to build on. 50 years had passed since the first human colonies were established. What began as desperate survival had turned into something greater than anyone could have imagined. The scattered human worlds now communicated regularly with each other, sharing discoveries and resources. Dr. Kevin Reyes stood in his lab on Nova Station, a massive research facility orbiting Trinity II. He was the grandson of one of the original colonists. His entire life had been dedicated to solving the problem that had limited human expansion, the vast distances between colonies. Try it again, he told his assistant. Adjust the phase alignment by 0.3 degrees. The machine in the center of the lab hummed with power. 2 identical devices stood 10 meters apart, each glowing with a soft blue light. Ready, said the assistant. Kevin placed a small red ball on the pad of the first device. He pressed a button, and instantly, the ball appeared on the second pad. The room fell silent. Then the team erupted in cheers. "We did it," Kevin whispered. "True quantum communication, instant transfer of information across any distance." This was technology the Concorde had never developed or had deliberately suppressed. Within months, Nova Station had built larger versions of the device and sent them to other colonies via conventional ships. Once installed, the quantum network allowed instant communication between all human settlements, regardless of distance. Ideas, discoveries, and cultural developments now flowed freely between worlds that had been developing in isolation. On Trinity II, the newly formed Human Alliance held its first full council meeting with representatives from 53 colonies. The old Earth names for nations had faded away. Now people identified by their colony world. "The quantum network changes everything," said Chairwoman Natalie Franks. "We are no longer separate colonies trying to survive. We are one people again." Not far from Nova Station, Captain Olivia Martinez prepared her ship, the Horizon *, for a mission to explore beyond the known human settlements. Her crew was a mix of people from different colonies, each bringing unique skills developed in their various environments. "Engine check complete," reported her first officer. "The new drive cores from New Durban are working at 120% of expected efficiency." "Good," Olivia replied. "We'll need all the speed we can get. This mission will take us closer to Concorde space than anyone has gone since the Exile." The Horizon * departed the next day, watched by thousands of colonists. It was the most advanced ship humans had ever built, incorporating technologies developed across a dozen worlds, including some based on the ancient ruins found on Trinity's moon. 3 months into their journey, the Horizon * discovered something unexpected, a small trading outpost used by various alien species. Staying hidden, they'd monitored communications and studied the visitors. "They're all from Concorde worlds," Olivia noted as they watched aliens trading goods. "But look at their technology. It's primitive compared to ours." Her science officer nodded. "Their ships are using standard fusion drives. Nothing like our gravity manipulation engines." "Download everything you can from their networks," Olivia ordered. "Let's see what we can learn." What they found shocked everyone. The Concorde wasn't just controlling which species could join their alliance. They were actively limiting technological development among member species. Advanced research was restricted, and promising technologies were often classified as dangerous and suppressed. When the Horizon * returned to Alliance space, Olivia's report caused an uproar. "The Concorde isn't a protector of galactic peace," she told the Council. "It's a system of control. They feared us because they knew we wouldn't accept their limitations." Kevin Reyes studied the data carefully. "The quantum technology we developed would have been banned immediately. According to their records, 3 other species discovered similar technology in the past. All 3 were quarantined or exiled, just like us." The Alliance Council debated for days about what to do with this information. Some wanted to avoid the Concorde entirely. Others argued for preparing defenses. "We should do neither," said Natalie finally. "We will continue to build, to grow, to develop. Not out of fear or revenge, but because that's who we are. And when we're ready, we will return to Earth." The council chamber erupted in applause. For the first time, humans looked to the stars not as exiles, but as explorers ready to take their place in the galaxy. 100 years had passed since the humans were forced to leave their home. The small, struggling colonies had grown into a powerful alliance spanning hundreds of star systems. Human technology had advanced beyond what anyone could have imagined back on Earth. Grand Admiral Catherine Walsh stood on the bridge of the Defiance *, the flagship of the Human Alliance fleet. At 62, she had spent her entire life in space, born on a colony ship and raised on Trinity II. Now she was proposing something that many thought impossible. "Operation Homecoming is ready," she told the Alliance Council during their secure quantum call. We have the ships, the technology, and the people. It's time to see what happened to Earth. The council members looked concerned. The Concorde's ultimatum was clear, one said. Any humans remaining in the solar system would be eliminated. It's been a century, Catherine replied. We need to know if anyone survived and what the Concorde did to our homeworld. The mission will be led by Commander Daniel Ross on our most advanced stealth ship, the Phantom *. After 3 days of debate, the council approved the mission. Daniel Ross was a young but respected officer known for his careful planning. His grandparents had been among the last to leave Earth. The Phantom * departed Trinity system with a crew of 20 all volunteers. The ship used technology reverse-engineered from the ancient ruins and improved by human innovation. It could bend light around itself, becoming nearly invisible to sensors. Jump complete, reported the navigator 2 weeks later. We're at the edge of the solar system. Daniel felt a strange mixture of emotions. This was the birthplace of humanity, yet none of his crew had ever seen it. Begin passage scans, he ordered. Let's see what we're dealing with. To everyone's surprise, they detected Concorde ships patrolling the system, particularly near Earth. There were far more than expected for a supposedly abandoned system. Something's not right, Daniel muttered. Why maintain such a presence around an empty planet? He made a bold decision. We're going to get closer to Earth. Maximum stealth protocols. The Phantom * slipped past the Concorde patrols using technology the aliens couldn't detect. As they approached Earth, the crew gasped. The planet was still blue and green, not the dead world they had expected. There are cities, said the sensor officer in shock. And farms. Earth is still inhabited. Daniel ordered the ship to enter orbit during the planet's night side. Using their advanced sensors, they picked up radio transmissions and analyzed them. It's humans, the communications officer confirmed. They're speaking our languages. There are millions of them still down there. Daniel couldn't believe it. The Concorde didn't destroy them. But why? They intercepted more transmissions and began to understand. The humans on Earth lived under strict Concorde control. They were forbidden from developing certain technologies or expanding beyond a set population. Earth had become a protected world, a prison with comfortable walls. Daniel decided to risk sending a small team to the surface. They landed in an isolated area and made contact with local humans. What they learned shocked them even more. The Concorde maintains that they saved humanity from itself, explained an older woman named Susan, who met them in secret. They teach our children that the rest of humanity died after leaving the system. They tell us we're the lucky ones who were chosen to remain. That's a lie, Daniel told her. There are billions of humans thriving across hundreds of worlds. Susan's eyes filled with tears. We always suspected the Concorde wasn't telling the truth. They control everything. What we can build, what we can study. They say it's for our protection. Before leaving, Daniel gave Susan a small quantum communicator hidden in an ordinary-looking object. We'll be back, he promised. As the Phantom * prepared to leave the solar system, a Concorde patrol ship changed course unexpectedly. They had been detected. Evasive action, Daniel ordered. The ship narrowly escaped, jumping to safety with valuable information for the Alliance. Earth was not lost, but freeing it would mean war with the Concorde, a war that humanity was now ready to fight. The news about Earth spread quickly through the human alliance. People were shocked and angry to learn that the Concorde had lied. Earth wasn't empty. It was a prison planet. The humans who remained were kept under strict control, denied their rightful place among the stars. The Alliance had changed its name to the Terran Imperium 10 years earlier, reflecting its growing power and unity. Now Fleet Admiral Jason Vega stood before the Imperium Senate, laying out his plan for the liberation of Earth. The Concorde believes we are still the same humans they exiled a century ago, he said. They have no idea how far we've advanced. Jason was a brilliant military leader who had spent decades studying Concorde tactics and technology. Under his guidance, human ships had grown more powerful than anything the aliens had. "We've developed phase shift technology that their sensors can't detect," he explained. "Our ships can literally slip between the fabric of space, bypassing their defenses entirely." The Senate voted unanimously to approve Operation Liberation. Within weeks, the largest fleet ever assembled by humans prepared to depart for Earth. 500 warships gathered near the Trinity system, each powered by technology the Concorde couldn't imagine. Meanwhile, the small quantum communicator left on Earth had allowed the Imperium to contact resistance groups. All across Earth, humans prepared to rise up when the fleet arrived. As the fleet approached the edge of the solar system, the Concorde detected them. Alarms spread through the alien command. "Impossible," said Zorax, now the High Commander of Concorde forces in the solar system. "Humans couldn't have built such a large fleet. Their technology was primitive when they left." The Concorde assembled its own fleet to meet the human ships. They outnumbered the humans 3-1, with vessels that had dominated the galaxy for millennia. "They wish to speak with us," said a Concorde officer. On the bridge of the Imperium flagship, *Vengeance*, Jason smiled as Zorax's face appeared on the screen. The alien hadn't changed much in 100 years. "You violate Concorde law by returning to this system," Zorax said coldly. "Leave immediately or be destroyed." "We've come for our homeworld," Jason replied. "The world you stole from us. The people you've kept prisoner." "Earth is under Concorde protection," Zorax insisted. "The humans there live in peace, free from the dangers of unrestricted technology." "You mean free from the ability to challenge your control," Jason countered. "We know the truth now. We know why you exiled us. You feared what humanity might become." Zorax's large eyes narrowed. "You were unpredictable, dangerous. We could not allow your kind to spread throughout the galaxy. And yet, here we are," Jason said with a smile. "We're giving you one chance to withdraw from the solar system. Release Earth from your control." Zorax laughed. "You are outnumbered and outgunned. Your primitive ships cannot stand against the might of the Concorde." Jason ended the transmission and turned to his crew. "Battle stations. Prepare phase shift drives." The Concorde fleet moved forward, weapons charging. They expected an easy victory against what they thought were inferior ships. The Battle of Alpha Centauri began with a flash of light as the Imperium fleet activated their phase shift technology. Half the ships simply vanished from the Concorde sensors. "Where did they go?" Zorax demanded as alarms blared. Suddenly, human ships appeared behind and within the Concorde formation. Their advanced weapons tore through alien shields as if they weren't there. "Impossible," Zorax shouted as his ship shuddered under the assault. In just 3 hours, the battle was over. The mighty Concorde fleet lay in ruins, defeated by a force 1/3 its size. Only Zorax's command ship escaped to warn the Concorde leadership. As the Imperium fleet approached Earth, they received thousands of transmissions from the surface. The people below had seen the battle in orbit. They knew liberation had come. Diplomatic officer Grace Howard intercepted communications from other alien ships in nearby systems. What she discovered gave the humans an unexpected advantage. "Several Concorde species are asking to speak with us," she told Jason. "They say they've been waiting for someone to challenge the Concorde's rule. They want to join us." Jason smiled. The Concorde's greatest fear had come true. Humanity hadn't just survived exile. They had returned to reshape the galaxy. Earth was free. After a swift campaign that lasted just 2 weeks, the Terran Imperium had defeated all Concorde forces in the solar system. Admiral Jason Vega stood in the old United Nations building in New York, the same place where humans had first met the Concorde representatives over a century ago. The room was filled with leaders from Earth and the Imperium, along with representatives from 24 alien species that had broken away from the Concorde to join the humans. Chancellor Elijah Brooks, the elected leader of the Imperium, stepped forward to address them. He was a tall man with dark skin and gray hair, born on one of the first colony worlds. 100 years ago, in this very room, the Concord told humanity that we were too dangerous to join the galactic community, Elijah said. They feared what we might become. Today, we have proven them right. The room erupted in applause. When it quieted, Elijah continued, "But we are not the monsters they feared. We do not seek revenge or domination. Today, we offer the Concord a choice: reform or dissolution." The main doors opened, and a group of Concord representatives entered. They looked smaller somehow, less imposing than they had a century before. "The Galactic Concord has ruled for millions of years," said their leader. "You cannot simply demand we change our ways." "We already have," replied Elijah. "1/3 of your member species have joined what we now call the Terran Commonwealth. They were tired of being held back, of having their potential limited by your fear of progress." Jason watched the aliens shift uncomfortably. The Concord had never faced a real challenge to their power before. They had no experience with defeat. "What exactly are your terms?" the Concord leader asked. Elijah smiled. "Equal representation for all species, freedom to develop technology without artificial restrictions, open borders, and free trade throughout the galaxy, and acknowledgement of the wrongs done to humanity and other exiled species." The negotiations lasted for days. In the end, the Concord agreed to most of the terms. They had little choice. Their military was broken, and more of their member species were threatening to leave. As the Concord representatives signed the new treaty, Dr. Linda Morris watched from the side of the room. As a xenoanthropologist, she had studied the cultures of both humans and aliens for decades. "This is just the beginning," she told Jason when he came to stand beside her. "There are deep wounds between our peoples that will take generations to heal." Jason nodded. "That's why the Chancellor created your Foundation for Galactic Cooperation. If anyone can bridge those gaps, it's you." Linda had already begun working with scientists and scholars from dozens of species. Together, they would study the ruins left by previously exiled races and build a new understanding of the galaxy's history. In the years that followed, Earth once again became the center of human civilization, but not its only home. The colonies that had grown during the Exiled remained vital parts of the Commonwealth. Humans traveled freely between worlds, along with their new alien allies. The species that had once dominated the Concord found themselves in an unfamiliar position, seeking the protection of humans against new threats. Strange signals had been detected from beyond the galaxy's edge, suggesting that something unknown was approaching. "Ironic, isn't it?" Elijah said to Linda 5 years after the liberation of Earth. They stood on the observation deck of Humanity's station, the massive space platform orbiting Earth. "They exiled us because they feared what we might become, and now they need what we've become." Linda watched the ships coming and going below, human vessels alongside those of 24 alien designs. "Perhaps that was always our destiny," she replied. "Not to conquer the galaxy, but to unite it." Elijah smiled. "Either way, we've proven one thing beyond doubt. You can exile humans from their home, but you can't stop them from building a new one, even if it has to be an entire galactic empire." Below them, Earth shone blue and green in the sunlight, no longer a prison but the heart of humanity's unstoppable rise among the stars.